This here is the very first computer from my vintage computer collection. This is what got me started in this hobby. It's a Sharp pocket computer PC-1401 that runs BASIC. And it was just a Facebook Marketplace post at random. I saw it there and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I had already watched the 8-Bit Guy's video on these types of devices. I was, alive in the 80s. I would have been a kid when these things came out, but I never really saw one of these in action at that time. As a kid in the 80s, I would have killed for something like this. A little computer that you can carry around with you. I think I would have programmed the heck out of it every minute of every day. Now, before purchasing this, I went online and I downloaded the manual and I read all about how you program it. I was really impressed. The basic language in here is very capable, even compared to like a Commodore 64. The amount of functions in here is really impressive. Also, I discovered it has a couple of undocumented commands. It has peek, poke, and call. So that means that you can examine any memory that's in here with peek. You can write to any memory location with poke, and you can call machine language code using the call instruction. So you can write machine language code for this. So I was very, very impressed. And then the last thing that got me interested, which if you've seen my other videos, is that it does have this 11-pin connector on the side, and many people had figured out that 11-pin connector and built software and interface for it. So I also did the same thing, and that's how I got this, which interfaces in there and allows you to connect this to a computer and upload and download files. And that's pretty much my whole criteria for getting a vintage computer, is that it's got to be programmable, it's got to be sort of hackable in some way, and you got to be able to somehow connect it to a modern computer, whether that's through compact flash cards or serial ports or something. You got to have some way to get software on and off of this thing. So this was the start. And since then, I've gotten lots of other portable devices. The HP 660LX is another video on my channel. But I also have many other devices I haven't done videos about yet. And even this video isn't about this computer. So I got the PC-1401. I started working on it and working on that interface. And I learned that there's also a disk drive available for these things. It doesn't work on this version, but if you have the PC-1403, then you can hook in and you can emulate a disk drive. And that was really, really interesting for me. So of course, I had to go to eBay and pick up a PC-1403. So now I have another one of these things. In addition to the support for disk drives, this version includes a higher resolution display, so you can show more characters on the screen at once, and lowercase letters. It also has 8K of RAM instead of 4K of RAM, and matrix operations built in. That's the 1403. But then I learned about another device, the 1403H. This is the ultimate version of this. This version is the same as the 1403, but with a whopping 32K of RAM. And so I figured to myself, I've already got 2 of these, I might as well have 3, right? So off to eBay I went again. One day I did find a listing for a PC-1403H that looked like it was in fantastic condition. It came with the box. In fact, here I'll do like a little unboxing for you because this is how I got it. In here with the manual, I got the machine inside the original plastic wrap. Actually, it was inside the cover. I have the cover off, but yes, so the cover was there too. Mint condition cover. It looked great. Inside the manual, the receipt for it, and even the little template that you put on for your own custom commands in the template section of the manual. So this was really, really nice condition device. There was only one problem, and I kind of assumed this when I saw the listing, and that was it was untested. And I kind of thought, well, you know what, there's a good chance it doesn't work. And sure enough, it doesn't work. I opened it up and took a look and didn't see any obvious damage. I did all the necessary things to try and get it working. So kind of sad. I have this really great condition PC-1403H that doesn't work. We leave it at that. But after a while, I came across yet another eBay listing for a PC-1403H. And this one is not in as nice condition. It's a little smashed up. I think it's a little bent. The case is all broken, and a few other things. But I talked to the seller and I was like, hey, can you take some pictures of it operating? And sure enough, this one works. So, I mean, the only logical thing to do then is to take the insides out of this one and put them in this one. So that's what we're gonna do in this video, and hopefully it's all gonna work out. I've never actually done this before, so it's not really a repair, and I hope that it's gonna be pretty straightforward, but let's find out. So first thing, what I'm thinking of doing is putting some sticky tack down here so that when I'm working on this, the keys are kind of raised up off the surface, and hopefully that will allow me to sort of take the motherboard out and swap it between these two cases without losing all the keys. Because once you take it out, it's what's sort of pressed onto the back of these keys to make them work. And I think I just want to keep everything in the other one the same except for the main motherboard. Let's see what we can do. I mean, this one even only came with one screw. You know, you can see how rough it is. It's actually still not in that bad of shape. Now I can't get the screw out. It's like there's nothing catching it on the other side. All right, there we go. So we'll take this off here, and then we'll take the batteries out, of course. All right. My idea is I'm going to swap it, but I'm actually going to swap it. So I'm going to put the other motherboard into this one after it's done. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one and see how that goes. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so let's start with this one. Let's get this out of the way here for a sec. Oh, the speaker. Well, we can take this whole back plate with us, and there's a couple of springs. Ooh. Okay, so there's a spring there. Let's see if we can get this out. Yeah, I think it comes out pretty easily. I'm a little concerned about all those keys. Oh, there's the membrane. All right, so we're gonna kind of leave that membrane there. LCD's a little dirty on this side. Maybe I'll have to clean it up. Otherwise, it looks like everything's okay. And now we can just take this right off and put it in the other one. So now we got to do the same thing with the non-working one. This one opens very, very easily compared to the other one. And the same operation, we're going to take the same screws out. Same thing, this back should come off, and it should have the speaker. Put it right there. Oh, and that spring came off. Put it over there. And let's just take this out. And we have the same membrane on the other side coming off here. I just moved a key by accident. Oh, and there's some keys stuck to the membrane. I can hear all the keys falling. So I'm gonna need to fix the key situation. Oh yeah. We got some keys that moved around. So let's get those keys back where they're supposed to be. Perfect. Okay. Before we put this one back in, I think I'm just going to give it a little bit of a clean. It looks like maybe the LCD is just a little bit dirty. So just a little isopropyl alcohol just to kind of clean everything up here. Seems to be a little bit of goop over there. Everything else looks okay. And over here on these two connectors, it was a little bit goopy. I guess that's where the power switch is. So maybe something got in there. All right, now it's just time for reassembly. Oh, and I am missing that spring that was in the corner. So let's put that back in there. I think it might go in between. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. The other spring is there. Feels pretty solid. So I guess we'll just go ahead and screw everything back down and hope for the best. Okay, not doing them down too tight. All right, everything feels good, I think. Well, let's throw some batteries in and see what happens. All right. Moment of truth. Yes, that actually looks better. I wonder if the polarizer here that's on this is the polarizer from the new one. The display looks way better. So I wonder if that even is a nice improvement. Okay, well, a basically mint condition PC-1403H with 32K of RAM. Amazing. I think it looks great.